G. Sridhar sir, please come on to the dais. And today's keynote speaker address, Dr. Venkatramana Bhadala, Professor and Head of the Department in IIT Tirupati. Sir, please come and join with us in the dais. So thank you very much, sir, for accepting our invitation. Before going to felicitate our keynote speaker address, now I can give a brief introductory about sir. Dr. Venkatramana Bhadarla did his BTech in Computer Science and Engineering from Nagarjuna University, India in 1995. And sir did ME degree in Systems and Information from BITS Bilani, India in 1997. Sir worked as a software engineer, Novel IDC, Bangalore from the period of 96 to 97. And also Sir acted as a faculty member, Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering, Chennai in between 1997 to 2000. And also acted as a faculty member in KDU College, Pinga campus, Malaysia in between 2000 to 2002. Not only that, Sir did his PhD in 2007 under the supervision of Professor C. Shivaram Murthy Garu, Department of Computer Science and Engineering at Indian Institute of Technology, IIT Madras. And Sir received PhD degree in the 45th Convocation of IIT Madras held in July 2008. And also from August 2006 to May 2007, Sir worked as a project officer at IIT Madras. Since in this working period, Sir acted as a research fellow at the Hamilton Institute, National University of Ireland, Manon, Ireland. Sir. Thank you very much, sir. And not only that, Sir nearly published 15 publications in reputed journals and conferences and developed more than 14 softwares. This is the great thing which Sir did. And coming to overall, these I am going to summarize a short. Sir actively contributed to conferences, journals, and committees worldwide, and notably roles including reviewers, committee members, and organizing committees, and so on, etc., etc., etc. So thank you very much, sir, for accepting our invitation. And I'm requesting Dr. Sujata ma'am for felicitating our keynote speaker. And I'm requesting convener and additional convener of National Conference to felicitate our keynote speakers. Please accept our honors. Thank you very much, sir, for accepting our small honorism. Now I am handovering this session to Venkatramana sir for giving a small note on this keynote session. Sir, please.
So, good afternoon. So thanks for the introduction. I'm Venkatramana from IIT Tirupati. So it's indeed a great honor for me to come to this university particularly and give you some details on like confluence of Sanskrit and computer science, right? So, which is a very interesting topic for me, but I have a very little knowledge in that. So, my areas of research and expertise are totally on the systems side. So, you ask me on networks, I'll be able to deliver like 10 hours right away. Or you ask me on compilers, I'll be able to for 5 hours, 10 hours. So this is really a very interesting uh, topic, like computer science and the technology tools and technologies related to Sanskrit and computer science, which is a very interesting and very relevant also today, because the government is has spending are showing a lot of interest on preserving its God's spoken language, right? So Sanskrit is really a mother of all languages, and unfortunately, we are not aware of any of the like finer details about the Sanskrit. Not only finer, even at the course level, we don't know much of the Sanskrit. So I really uh, like appreciate the effort of conducting this conference that brings the Sanskrit and computer science together, right? So I would like to thank the university and the department, particularly Professor Chandrasekharam Garu, for inviting me for this. So as I said, like I'll just give you a very brief overview of what are different facets of uh, the activities that you can see where the computer science and Sanskrit come together, right? So as many of you know, like so the first technology or whatever the research area that comes is the natural language processing, right? So what you see in the Sanskrit is like it's Sanskrit has like inflectional morphology, like no, the words what you see is with very minor variation. What you see is a totally different meaning for that word. So what you require is in this context, NLP plays a very important role in dealing with morphological analysis, syntax analysis, semantic analysis, sentiment analysis, named data identity. For example, uh, uh, you have some character in Sanskrit literature. So if you want to basically find out that character, you should be able to identify that character in the entire literature, right? And there may be so many characters with the same name. You should eliminate all possible all redundant ones, and you should try to identify a particular identity, particular character. And not only that, so after identifying the character, you should also see like what are the surrounding characters, and you should also able to narrate some story about the interaction between those characters. So in all these aspects, what you is like natural language processing is coming in a big way to basically bringing all this value addition stuff to this. So the next enabling technology is OCR. So you see, like these are all the enabling technologies for the Sanskrit to basically the problems related to Sanskrit that can be solved through computer science, right? So the first one is the natural language processing. You should basically look at all those algorithms or studying those algorithms that will come in a big way in solving various problems at different stages of this natural language processing. As I said, like can be morphological analysis. For example, if you do like a syntax analysis, So what you do is by looking at a sentence, Sanskrit sentence, you should be able to see whether this is correctly formed or not. Right? So that requires like underlying grammar to be represented in computer. And once you feed in a a Sanskrit sentence, and that should be parsed through this grammar, whatever is internally implemented, and it should be able to say like whether it's syntactically correct, and at the same time it should be also semantically correct. The meaning should also be appropriate for these things, and it should also be identify what is that sentiment the particular sentence is basically um, uh, reflecting. Like a sentiment also you should be able to understand from the sentence whatever you have given. So these are all like the aspects related to natural language processing. So when you get a chance, so definitely this is a very good course. You do it with a lot of seriousness. So even though if it is an elective course, so take it seriously and then try to do that course. So NLP. So I heard like NLP is a compulsory course for the Sanskrit university students, right? So NLP is a very useful thing. Then comes is like you have this lot of, in fact, Sanskrit you have a lot of like a wealth of or a humongous literature that is available around. So if it is available in all those palm plates or whatever copper plates or it's ancient books, so we may not be able to make any value out of it. So what is that required is we have to digitize all those literature, like whatever is the humongous amount of literature that is available, right? That should be translated to digital form. So that's where it comes like so optical character recognition, right? That is a technology, right? So this digitization, whatever we see, like the digitization efforts involves basically the translation of the manuscripts to images and then to the digital text form, and remove whatever the noise is there in the translation. You remove it, and you collect some kind of metadata. For example, if you are basically digitizing a particular textbook in Sanskrit, you have to collect some metadata about what is that book all about and who is the author of it. So when was it published, right? So what are the basic subject that is like no even that is uh, topics that are covered in the book. Some kind of metadata you should be able to extract. So all these things, once you have done it, you can create like a digital archive. So what you get is like you have one side is a physical textbook or physical material, and that should be translated into digital form. So once you have done this digital translation and remove all the noise, everything, and what you get is like you have a commodity. That's a kind of like no a Sanskrit literature. So then you can do like any kind of mining of the text from that wealth that you have created, right? Or any kind of search that you can do it. So I strongly believe that there's a lot of like no lot of unexplored stuff that is there in Vedas. Everything is written in Sanskrit. So if one can have access to those things in their own native language, so they will be able to make a lot of value out of it. So in fact, we do not know like a lot of whatever the Vedas we have, whatever the epics we have, they were all taken by the foreigners, and they are trying to go through all those things and understand. Let's say we have Bhagavad Gita. So they just go to whatever is there in the Bhagavad Gita, try to understand not only just a plot, not only just a narration of the story or whatever is there. It's not just, there is a lot of inner meaning, right? So they are trying, they're just analyzing all those things and trying to make a value out of that. So converting that knowledge into some kind of technology, some kind of techniques, all those things. So it's what I say is like so we Indians, so we need to have to go through those epics to basically understand what are the principles, what is the value, what is the science, what are the sutras, basically they're there. So all those things we need to do. For that, we may not directly understand them. So we require those the wealth of information in our own native language format or any format in which we can understand. So that is so one of the enabling technologies is optical character recognition, OCR technologies. So then comes is like information retrieval, right? So what you have done earlier is you have collected, like transformed your physical material into digital form, and you have removed all those errors. So on then what you can do is you can start putting queries on that, right? So for example, you can say like yeah, so you can pull out like you say like who is Ravana. So that's a very simple query. You can just put it. So for that to answer, so this is a very high level question I had put in. Like you can say like, but generally if you see Ravana's birth was, there was a purpose for it. So what was the purpose for Ravana's birth, right? If you had put in this kind of query to your whatever you have translated your text into digital form and stored it inside your computer. So you once you put in like your queries, whatever you wanted, so all the relevant information you should be able to get back. So that requires a kind of a search engine, right? So you have that requires a kind of search engine. So that search engine should be taking some kind of context into also account while retrieving or returning the results of the query that we have posted. So this kind of information retrieval and search, so and the tools related to that, like a search engine, context based search engine, so everything is very important, right? That is kind of another area one can explore. So one is like NLP, the other one is digitization technologies. The other thing is, how do you create wealth out of the information that you have digitized? Or that's right. That can be done through context-based search engines, right? One can think of. Then comes like you have a Sanskrit. You have a variety of alphabets you have inside Sanskrit. So if you want to like uh, make this alphabet compatible with the systems that we have, so the internal representation should be universally like adopted, right? That's where all these character coding, encoding, everything should be there in the Unicode formats. So that's what I came to know. Like the Sanskrit University has like digitized about 6 lakh pages of what is that the transcripts, and the same now they are encoding it in like Unicode format to make it accessible to the users worldwide, right? So then only, like if you have uniform format everywhere, represented your characters, everything, then it can be easily accessible by the users across the globe from using different platforms. So that's what is the encoding and the standards. This is almost done, right? So there are like Unicodes are there very well. So one can translate the code, represent the code, represent the characters, represent the text, everything in Unicode format, and in that way, like that can be accessible from any platform. So this is about like Sanskrit, like converting the Sanskrit text into wealth of digital repositories and making a value out of it through search engines, retrieval, and all those things, right? Then comes is like how do we enable learning Sanskrit, right? So that's a teaching and learning processes. So how the technology will come and help in the teaching and learning of the Sanskrit language. So it's for me, it's very hard to learn Sanskrit, right? So what? In fact, my daughter, I couldn't answer some of her questions when she was doing Sanskrit in our 8th standard. So I had to ask my friends to clear up those doubts. So I couldn't, there is no proper way, no proper tool, right, available online or anywhere offline. So uh, for systematically learning Sanskrit language, right, that's not available. So to make it widely adopted, right, so what we require is some kind of tools for learning Sanskrit. Right? So that's where it comes like um, and this learning process can be learned through gamification as well. So for example, if you are learning something, gamification is the best way of learning anything. For example, during COVID, right? So we all need to wear the mask, right? We all need to use the sanitizers and so many other precautions. So if you tell somebody like you have to wear the mask, you have to wear what is that a sanitizer, you have to use sanitizer for cleaning, so nobody cares or they don't take it serious. So what it requires is through a game. So like what you can do is you can give some kind of like no like there will be some kind of demons are something like a virus, like a coronavirus. So it will attack you. To protect it from the virus, you should wear mask or you should use sanitizer, so you will be like no not infected in that way. So this kind of gamification will help the people to internalize whatever the precautionary measures that one has to take, right? And it naturally they follow that. So likewise, what we require to do is like learning, like we need to have some kind of online learning applications that will help to learn the Sanskrit in a very simple way through games. For example, you can create a scene out of it, how one is talking to others. So, and then from that interaction itself, one can able to learn like how, like, no, the Sanskrit language. So that's where it requires some kind of learning applications for uh, like, no, for easily learning this Sanskrit language. And also, we can have like interactive quizzes, right? Online interactive quizzes, and as well as flashcards, multimedia contents. So all these things should be available for the learners uh, to learn like a Sanskrit grammar and vocabulary, and they can also practice the Sanskrit. What I mean here is, one side I just like digitization, all those things. The other side is if you want to learn, or if everyone wanted to learn, what are the things that are required. So that's where like teaching and language learning, right? Then comes is like speech recognition. So why is that so important, the speech recognition? So you see like a Sanskrit vocabulary is very important, right? So like when you are learning, right, if you speak out some word, they should be able to correct, right? They should be able to say that's a correct way of pronunciation or wrong way of pronunciation. So where it requires like this speech recognition tool will come into a picture. So as and when you speak, like it will be able to say yes, this is the correct way, or it should be able to like no correct if it is not appropriate. So for this, like you should be able to have like a speech recognition and the synthesis that we require, right? So these are all should be part of your virtual learning tool, online tool that we have. Like one is like a basic learning through gamification and any other means, and the other one is check yourself, like no, like no, through online interactive system, how much you have learned so far, what is the quality of learning you had. The other thing is vocabulary. So that's also requires like a speech recognition. So the other thing that we see is these days the kids, right? The kids, what kind of comics they see, what kind of cartoon they see these days. Animations, Korean animations, or many of these like no, I don't know those things. My daughter will say it. I tell her like no, not to watch. So, but what we are more attracted towards like no, watching those cartoons that are not like no relevant for us, right? So what it requires here is when somebody is reading a book, right? That is, let us say, for learning the Sanskrit, right? Or for the entertainment. For example, they are reading uh, some story from Srimad Bhagavatam. So it may be something like what are the stories that we have there in Srimad Bhagavatam. So for example, it's something, so Gajendra Moksha. So let us say you want to learn it, right? So what you can see is you just see the book, right? And just it goes in a very passive way, rather than you get immersed yourself into the entire story. You take some storybook. There's no way like you can get immersed. If you see like the older days, like our grandmas, grandfathers, they used to basically just take us into the complete story, right, through their narration, right? In that way, they try to immerse and get a maximum out of it, get a feel out of that complete conversation, right? But that is missing these days, right? What it requires is some kind of augmented reality to or virtual reality tools. Both are slightly different. So we look at only augmented reality. When you open a book, when you come to some kind of figure, if I have some tool like a mobile based application, if I show that mobile like no to that picture, whatever it is, I should be able to get some kind of let us say some kind of feel of like what is that picture all about, lot of details about that particular picture. For example, if you see like Anghasura, that was a like no demon, right? So it's like a 8 mile long snake, 8 mile long snake. Can you imagine that kind of long snake anywhere? No, we see only 30 feet snake. What one can see is if I get that my camera and I have AR app to that, it should be able to show something projected, and that kind of scale also we should be able to get it through AR techniques, augmented reality techniques. That basically help us, right? So get an inner meaning of many of these things. So when you are reading some text, there may be one kind of dimension to that. So, but that we may not be able to capture it. But if you have like this kind of digital, AR tools available, it can give uh, all those inner meanings and to make us properly understand the context. In that way, the immersive learning happen. So AR is very important. If you get a chance to that, you try to do those courses, AR, how to translate these things into some kind of AR based applications. So that's all in and VR also. Virtual reality is completely like you will be given with some special assistance. So in a way, like this entire thing, classroom, can be converted into the ancient days Valmiki preaching things to his sishyas, right? We can be transported into that particular time period, and completely how the guru sishya interactions were happening, everything, right? So that kind of reality we can provide through virtual reality techniques. So you can see like these are all enabling techniques which will help the learners to learn properly, get the context, and to immerse themselves into that and have enjoyable experience, right? So that's where I just say like the enabling technology is AR, VR. So in short, what I want to see is like the collaboration between the Sanskrit and computer science. So it's very important. I said like in many facets, computer science is coming in and enabling Sanskrit, like to preserve those manuscripts or to explore. I mean, for the people to explore what is there in the manuscripts, right, and also to learn Sanskrit and to have like experiential learning, all these things, right? So computer science enables. So please take this whatever the topics that I've mentioned, probably try to explore in those, And I'm optimistic about like a future prospects of this confluence of these two fields. So definitely I can see like Sanskrit, uh, probably I can say I'm optimistic like many people will learn Sanskrit and try to look at what is there in the our epics or our literature, Sanskrit literature, and get a value out of it. So that's what I just want. Do you have any questions? Have any questions? Questions? So are you doing any courses related to these subjects? Whatever. You may be doing artificial intelligence learning and deep learning. So they are useful, right? Right. NLP is also useful, right? Then what else? Computer graphics, AR, VR. That's a different line. So one can think of like we are in the age of generative AI, right? So what you see is any routine thing has no value. You want to basically write a small piece of code for multiplication of two matrices. So automatically generative AI tool is giving you the code. What is your like will become redundant if you basically expect yourself at that basic level. So what I suggest is go deep. Right, programming is essential. So particularly not at the high level programming like a Python. Python is important. I don't undermine that. Um, so what it requires is don't forget your foundations in programming, which is very important, right? Very low level programming language, very important. Then I think are you all computer science student? So you always see yourself as not the user of computer science tools techniques. What is that you should guess? Creator. Yeah, you should always see your role as enabler, right? Enable something for others, right? So if you think in that direction always, so whatever we see today, the job cuts, everything due to what is this generative AI will not have any impact on you, right? So see yourself as an enabler. Every course, if you are learning operating systems, don't learn just high level scheduling algorithm. Go deep, right? Use a system calls, write only your own scheduler, or have your own mechanisms for the process communication. Or if you are doing like a databases course, just don't write queries to interact with the database server, right? So SQL program, if you ask like no, generative AI will give you the program. So what you require is how this program is translated internally, right? How you have made how this whatever you have translated your query into uh, like underlying interactions with the disk, right? Data gets stored on the disk. So how many calls you have made, right? If you have done like a one translation requires 10 disk accesses, the other optimized query like no has made like a 5 disk accesses, you should be able to see like how to optimize the number of disk accesses my query has made, right? So you just always see from yourself from the enabling point of view and the performance point of view, right? Right. So in that way, like you will retain your value, right? So that's another suggestion that I make. So with this, I will stop, right? So thank you for the opportunity to back with you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful session. You covered the relevant topics related to Sanskrit and computers. So here the people will know Sanskrit separately and computer separately. So this is the session which is very useful to us and also our students also. Thank you very much, sir. As you said that in this field, really we can do great wonders based on these NLP and text and processings and Sanskrit and computer related things. Thank you very much, sir, for your session. And within a few minutes, we will go ahead for validatory session. Please, all of you stay back here. Our VC sir is on the way. Maybe he joined with us.